Okay. $180 calls. 13 million, but it's bearish. Bullish. Where's an hour? Wow, that was really a lot of bearish delta, but it couldn't go down to there, huh? What's the bounce? I just don't. Really over there, it crossed right here. Try to retest. Then it needs to go back up. I mean, really, this is. Yeah. Jensen is live on Bloomberg TV, really?
Picking up momentum with each step we do, and we saw some great examples. Is it shipbuilding? Is it food and beverage? But even startups using our technology like Commonwealth Fusion Systems.
You know, Jensen, we've discussed the 5-layer cake often. You know, with NVIDIA, it started with the GPUs, but it's now software. The element of simulation. On stage, you talked about integrating the software side in particular into EDA.
More.
Again, it's a similar question for you, more of a timeline. What is it that you think you'll do first in how you guys work closer together?
Well, first thing, let me just say very quickly, we're announcing a big partnership between us. We've known each other for a long time, but the partnership we're announcing is really a big deal. One, we're accelerating their EDA software. We're accelerating their simulation software. We're
how's it going?
AI technology, physical AI, and agentic AI into their team center and their factory automation operating system.
Yeah,
and
I
so
think
we're working
it's
together across this entire
good to buy
spectrum.
more NVIDIA.
When we accelerate the software, then we'll get to use it to design our chips and systems. When we accelerate their simulation software, we'll use it in our AI factories to simulate the thermal properties of our AI factories. When we integrate our automation and agentic systems into their AI.
I mean, look at this. That's just a flush.
In our factory floors with our partners.
It's
for
literally
example,
just a
Foxconn.
flush.
And so we're working across this entire spectrum together, and we're going to put the technology to use basically as soon as we can.
What's the net effect for you, Jensen? Is it improves margins, efficient capital allocation? I know that might sound a bit dry, but actually right now that's the answer everyone's searching for. How has this investment in AI and use of the technology actually changed things in the real world for me?
Well, we announced yesterday Vera Rubin. It takes 6 different chips to integrate into this incredible system called Vera Rubin. And when you're done, each one of these Vera Rubin GPUs is 240,000 watts. And it is 10 times more energy efficient than the last generation. It is 10 times more cost efficient than the last generation. But it's still, the technology is insanely complicated. 15,000 engineering years came together to build this
That's
system.
what I drew
And
last
so when
time.
we
Seems to
accelerate
be
EDA
holding
tools,
it.
when we accelerate simulation tools,
I
and
mean,
when we can eventually, and I'm hoping very soon,
I don't even know when I drew
design
these,
entire
but
Vera Rubin systems inside a Siemens digital twin, the
pivot
chance,
point
the ability for us to create
42901,
much, much more complex systems will scale. We'll do it much more efficiently.
right?
And so this is really about being able to do the
It's like
impossible
right there. I
and
mean, I
being
would.
able to do it the impossible right the first time.
And let me add,
But then Tesla would
once we
bounce.
realize that AI creates real-world impact, this is where it really deploys the full power and also the economic power. It's not only in the data centers or in AI factories, which we see, but also on the edge,
down
because once you start
20.
inferencing with low latency, you bring this technology
Oh
to
yeah,
the edge.
28,
There's a huge potential for our customers too. To deploy this technology, and this
it's
includes, of course,
negative
it goes
half a
hardware,
billion right
really
now,
from
but
the chips. It
I
goes
would
into
buy
the
it.
controllers. Some of our controllers run on GPUs.
Buy this here. It's
and
looking
then
like
it goes
it's.
all the way to the
Call it
hardware.
industrial
I
PC.
mean, look at this. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Now these industrial PCs are AI industrial
Exactly. We
PCs.
supercharge it,
This is
and they
super,
can now run algorithms trained in the cloud. They can run it on the shop
super.
floor and do all that tricks. What
So
we talked
here,
about it in
it's on a
real-time
5 minute.
optimization
So
and
here,
running in a planned, and that makes a huge difference.
let's
Yeah,
go
it's the
here, right?
The question that's being searched for is how is this
Higher,
going to manifest in the
higher.
real world? You know, the emphasis at this year's CS, I
Then
think, is physical AI. Is not the manifestation
from
of
here,
the final stage of physical AI, just one giant robot that you guys call a factory
that was a
in the manufacturing
low.
context. Is that where you're seeing demand from actual
So
customers?
this is
You know,
bullish
they need a
divergence on the
factory that is
5 minute.
automated 100%
I would probably
and
go
genuinely
long
autonomous in some
here.
degree.
So number one is if you
This
want to
needs
build
to
a
go
factory,
above
and
35, but I mean,
very often you're
this can
missing out
move
on labor.
like it did
And we talk
today.
about on skilled labor. It's hard
20
to find. Number
points.
one. Number two is once you build it autonomous and automated,
see.
then you have a much higher yield. What you can generate, you use less energy. By the way, at the same time, you really optimize it in a way. So therefore, there's a lot of benefits. And if you want to,
I mean, right
target the
here
United
it's
States,
looking. See the
ramp up
green
manufacturing in
line?
the United States, you need to go
Green
as
line.
digital
These are my
and as
EMAs:
automated
9,
and AI
14,
supercharged
21,
as possible.
50.
A factory is robotic.
Right
And
here,
it
I'd
is
probably
orchestrating
buy.
robots that
Just
are
needs to
building
hold this level,
systems
but
that are also robotic. Like, for example, a self-driving car is a robotic system.
oh, I think
The
I'd
reason why it's so hard to deploy
tweets
robots
out.
today
You'd be
is
definitely
because it's
fine,
hard to
but
program
I'd
these
probably buy
robotic
this
systems.
week.
The
I'd
software
probably buy
expertise
this week.
necessary, the customization necessary is
Add the
really
money.
intense. It's just too much. And so the fact that we could now apply artificial intelligence,
430.
physical AI
By the
technology
430
to these
call,
robotic
I mean,
systems
this looks like it's going to
makes
come
it
back up,
easier
at least to
to
retest.
teach. You show that
At least
few
to
demonstrations, and
retest.
the AI learned
I mean,
it
I
by
think it's going
itself.
to go up
Would you
$10.
say, Jensen, that you've
On the
solved
1
for
hour,
that software
the
limitation?
9 EMA with this equilibrium is at
Is
440.
the ChatGPT moment of it is now here. I think over the course of the next couple, 2-3 years, we're going to make some really
This
big
is
breakthroughs.
volume. Volume's
Let's
coming
please talk
in. I'd
about
buy it
energy,
here.
electricity, power supply, call it what you will.
I mean, look,
In
it's
turn, for each
trying
of you,
to.
how worried are you about it as a bottleneck? And what is your experience day to day in running both companies in that respect?
Yeah, I'd buy it.
It should
I'd buy
always be a
a
bottleneck for
call
any
at
industry,
the
and
490.
this is
So
a new industry that's
let me
growing
just rank this:
incredibly fast.
Tesla,
As you know,
call.
AI is both a technology that's going to revolutionize many
What is it?
applications, and we're talking
430.
about some of them
Sorry.
here. But the AI industry itself, the manufacturing of the artificial intelligence takes energy. It takes energy, it takes
Bring
AI
in
factories.
there.
It's exactly the reason why
I mean, I
from
think you're
Hopper
gonna
to
get at
Blackwell,
least
we
from
increased
here, at
energy
least a
efficiency
$5 move
by
up.
10x. From Blackwell to Rubin, we increased energy efficiency
NVIDIA
again
isn't
by
looking
10x.
good.
And that translates directly to our customers' revenues because in the case of an AI factory, whatever factory size you have, you're limited by the power. And that power, within that power constraint,
Holding
you want to have
here.
the most tokens or most AI per watt that you
put
can
it-
possibly generate. And so every time we improve energy efficiency, we're effectively improving
Supposed to have a date.
both
Yeah, I
the
don't
AI
know.
capabilities for our customers and
Tesla,
their revenues.
yeah,
Because
Tesla
they're
would
always
probably be
constrained by
long
power.
here.
The response to your keynote, and forgive
At
me running
that.
1 minute, was,
All
you
right.
know,
And then what's the
Rubin,
next one you wanted me to
10x
look
throughput,
at?
really important. Tokens generated at
Q.
1/10.
Q's just going
but
up
they'll still
all
say, "Hey,
day.
Jensen, what if the electricity's just not there?
These are the weekly
It's not
expected
available."
moves.
Well, there's electricity.
You can see
There's
them.
never enough electricity.
And my
That's
question
actually
is,
That's
what
the
is the
weekly.
anxiety level for you both about that issue?
The high is
there's always energy.
624.30.
There's never enough energy.
The low
And
is
this is
601. It's a
every
very
industrial
big move.
revolution will be energy constrained,
20
and this
points.
industrial revolution is also energy constrained. Which now one of the most important
601.94.
things here, speaking about the United States,
Jobs
if
data, I
President
guess.
Trump's
Coming
pro-energy
tomorrow,
growth
right?
agenda, we would have a very hard time growing at all. In order for a new industry to emerge, you need energy, and so I think it's
interesting
safe to
to
say
me
that we wish we had
because
more energy in the United States. Europe wishes it had
Nvidia is
more
like
energy. I think
tanking,
the
or at
world
least
all wish we had
holding,
more energy.
right? It's been
And so we have to
holding this
invest in all
down
sorts of
all
different forms of
day.
energy.
This
But
is
whatever
basically
energy
a
you
cup
have,
and handle.
you have to make it as energy
So
efficient as possible. And that's one of the reasons why both of us drive
I
our
always look
technology
at the
roadmap
candles
so
with high
hard,
volume
because
to
every
draw
single new
stuff
generation of
on.
technology is more energy efficient than the last. That's kind of the nature of it.
You are in the AI factory. I won't say data center, because data center is where you store data, but you are in the
Kind of
AI
where we're
factory
at.
supply chain.
Go
You
through
must
the
see it.
pivot.
what
It's
we
trying to
see
go
is,
through
number one
this.
is you see that the energy demand is roughly scaling with the GDP growth.
Yeah,
It's
90.
decoupling because exactly of this effect that we are providing more and more efficient technology. So that means you're decoupling, but still it grows.
But look at
along
Nvidia,
with
because
economic
Nvidia
growth.
is just going to tell
And
you
then
where
on
it's
top
going,
comes
which
a demand
Nvidia
for
is
data
going
centers.
down. I
They
don't know why
demand
this
high
is still holding
quality of
up,
energy at the same time.
which means that if Nvidia
Which
is going down,
in some
probably
cases
he's
creates
talking.
bottlenecks. Is it now from power generation? And
Looks like it actually is
is it other
going down.
renewables or
And I'm
gas
long
turbines?
Nvidia.
There's a huge bottleneck for gas turbines as we speak. It goes all the way to high
Sorry.
voltage transformers, to medium voltage into switch technologies. So therefore,
Let me
you see
also
along the
check
whole
for
supply
you.
chain, obviously, there's a huge demand. We are serving that. There's a reason why this business of ours is growing extremely fast.
Okay,
We
let's
can
look
keep up
at
with the demand of our customers, but in some cases you might end up in bottlenecks if you keep on going as fast as possible. It's a regional dependence in some cases. Where you have good
most
programs, good
dominated
policies,
calls
and you see
today
that it's catching up
would
along with the
be
demand. In others, you might end up in a
440 on
gap. But you see
Tesla
for
for 320.
the demand is higher than
There's
the
a
supply
premium of
chain, and we are ramping up.
43.9,
Korea.
almost
We
44
invested-
million in
we invested in the
premiums
United States.
That's the
today.
condition we want.
Yeah.
So,
We want a
I
condition
mean,
where the demand is
I'd
very
buy
strong
it.
because there's
You
great
want to
demand
go
for
back
new
to
technology.
Nvidia. Nvidia
Specific to you, Jensen,
bearish
how
today, so
severe
there's
is the
some
memory
everything.
bottleneck right now?
All right.
Well, the memory bottleneck is severe,
let's look.
but we're fortunate to have worked with all. First of all,
I don't
NVIDIA is the
know. It
only company
has.
that
I
works
mean,
with all three
Nvidia.
of the HBM suppliers, and all three of them are major
Then
customers
again, I
and
am
major
bullish
suppliers
on
of us.
Nvidia right now,
And
but
so
the fact that
we
the
have the good
Qs are
fortune of
holding
working
up,
with them for a
Nvidia
very
is the
long
only one
period of
going
time,
down,
and
but it's
we've got
not
things all planned out.
really like flushing.
You've been asked a lot about China in the last 24 hours. I'm going to
Yeah,
ask you a
I
slightly
mean, it
different question.
could.
What is the attitude of the
I mean,
Chinese government
technically, it could go
in allowing
down
H200 to go into the country? I
to
understand the
here.
position on licenses, the administration here in the United States position,
186.69.
but
I
what
mean,
does China's
Delta's
government say
negative.
to you
It's
about
high
how they want
volume,
to approach it?
so
I haven't spoken directly to them.
low a day is
Ultimately,
61.87.64. It's like 30
will be through the
cents
companies.
off. So it's,
If the companies are
I mean, it's a
allowed
possibility
to
for
buy
sure.
NVIDIA products in China, then there'll be strong demand, and we're
And
seeing strong
it
demand.
is.
And so I think indirectly
It's
they've
looking like
communicated
that.
with their companies.
This
I've learned
pivot
a lot
area
about
is
Siemens' work in
87.10.
software, and I've always thought the word Siemens to be synonymous with industrial, manufacturing physical things. It's the same lesson we've been through recently with
just
NVIDIA,
broke that,
trying to
low
understand
today.
actually the software competencies. Is that an area where we might see you be active in M&A? Think about what else you might need that you might not get from the Jensen and NVIDIA partnership.
So you might, because we will increase our software competence, our software portfolio.
I mean,
Actually,
it's going lower,
it's a
but
little bit
I
short
mean,
of
it is
30
going
billion,
lower.
which Siemens invested
Lot
in M&A
of
software competence.
a lot of
which brings
buyers
us to the
here.
point that
Well, what's missing?
Today we can build the most comprehensive
A lot of
physics-based
buyers. I mean, it's a
digital
lot.
twin of whatever you want to build.
It's a lot of
Still, there are
volume.
pieces in operational software which runs plans.
It's a 1
very
minute
close
chart.
look
That's a
into
hell of a lot of volume.
AI gives new spaces, obviously. We invested in Dotmatics. It's life science, so it's about molecules. We can imagine doing more there, also in simulation, but also building a data backbone for this life science industry. It's super relevant. We did it for other industries with Teamcenter. We repeat that now with Luma for life science, which is, again, shortening cycle times and reducing costs for life science and drugs and medicines. So, and I mean, the beauty of it is that we live in both worlds. We have the domain know-how. We know how to run things, how to operate, how to automate plans, buildings, grids, trains. And we have the software competence too, and that brings us in a unique position. And then we need strong partners, which have complementary technology, which is so amazing. If that comes together, you see matching things happen.
Well, NVIDIA will have access to new technology on the inference side through Grok. I'm going to do my classic, Jensen, could you please clarify for me question, which is this an acquisition or is it a licensing deal spread over time? Because Jonathan and Sunny joined.
We hired 400.
See, this is the what's it called?
Engineers. And we also
Volume
licensed the
footprint.
technology. They designed an architecture that's very, very different than what we've done, and it's focused.
That's kind of like a
on
double
low
bottom
latency
here.
token generation.
I like that a lot.
NVIDIA is incredibly good at inference, and we're great at training, post-training, as well as the inference phase and test time scaling of AI. And so we've got that space covered. I'm excited about some of the work that we might be able to do together to invent a new segment that might be able to address future use cases.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is the bottom. Look at that volume. A lot of volume.
So, Jonathan is kind of behind the TPU and the LPU, and before all of this happened, there was
yeah, I think
Grok
this is
V2
gonna
and
come
V3,
back up.
and all of that, and it's
That'd be
leading me to ask,
1,
what would that
2,
platform or segment
maybe
be?
retest down
What is it that
here,
you're trying to build on
and then
all those?
I haven't told anybody yet.
But I'm here,
after it
Jensen,
goes
tell
up to
me.
195, it's gonna go up to.
Come to a GTC conference in the future, and I will tell you all the secrets.
I don't know, I think it's
a
gonna go
model
much
pivot
higher.
because I have to.
I think
Data
NVIDIA is going
centers
higher.
in space. I reported just before the holidays that the reason SpaceX wants to go public.
The first GPU in space.
Bear with me. The reason that SpaceX wants to raise $30-40 billion, whatever that is, needs to buy the GPUs. Have you discussed
Needs to go
data
back
centers in
up
space with Elon and
8830.
SpaceX,
There's
Jensen?
a lot
Can't
of
discuss
shorts
what I
here,
haven't
so
told
if it
everybody I've
goes
discussed
above
with
it,
anybody.
You think it's a viable
they're probably gonna
technology
close.
Sure. I mean, there's lots of energy in space, right?
And then here, 88,
and the cooling is
80,
abundant in space.
and then
And so the challenges of AI
89,
factories
8912.
are different out in
Those
space.
are
There will
the
be AI
areas.
factories in space.
Yeah.
Forgive the ignorance almost, but are we literally talking about the same architecture for the GPU that goes into an AI factory, still just being able to go into kind of a satellite form factor?
Yeah, sure, but the way that you would cool it and power it would be very different. And so the system design will be radically different. The chips will be the same.
You're pretty concerned with data centers or AI factories here on Earth. Does Siemens see the need for or viability of such a technology?
I don't know whether we explored all potentials on Earth yet, but there's one beauty in this idea. Think about any kind of manufacturing you want to bring to space. Everything what you produce, you want to bring down to Earth. It's hard if you do energy, how to bring it down to Earth. It's hard if you produce any kind of hardware, how to bring it down. But tokens, intelligence, I mean, you can transfer easily to Earth. So therefore, if I would start produce something in space, I would start there.
We should talk about autonomous driving. Have you seen Elon Musk's response to your keynote yesterday?
No. What do you say?
Part one, in short, was, well, we were already doing that. Smiley emoji on X. The other part of...
And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised. First of all, I think the Tesla stack is the most advanced AV stack in the world. And I think the Tesla AV operations is the most advanced in the world. And I'm fairly certain that they were already using end-to-end AI.
Yes.
And whether their AI also did reasoning or not is somewhat secondary to that first part.
I think his point was that the first 99% is hard enough, but the long tail thereafter is important. It's very difficult. The question I got from the audience that was at your keynote was, on a dollar per mile
I'm
basis,
liking
what
this.
is the fundamental difference on your stack and your
I'm
software
liking
approach
this.
to Tesla's vision-based approach?
Yeah.
On ours is also vision-based. Of course, we have in addition to vision, we also have radar and lidar. But otherwise, the approach is rather similar. I think Elon's approach is about as state-of-the-art as anybody knows of autonomous driving and robotics. And so it's a stack that's hard to criticize. I wouldn't criticize it. I would just encourage them to continue to do what they're doing. They're doing a great job.
Physical AI for you is, and forgive my pronunciation, but Erlangen manufacturing site. When's that real? It's the same question.
I mean, in contrast to the side you was talking about before, this one exists. I mean, we are ramping up. We are automating it as we speak, using technology. I showcased some of that, and we are really deploying step by step now on that very same side this technology we was talking about, the AI brain, the digital twin composer, real worlds and real time connectivity to what happens on the shop floor, so you can act and drive basically dynamically what's happening on the shop floor. So, and we will talk about more along 2026.
And so cool. Siemens is using NVIDIA technology in the Siemens factory.
Yes.
NVIDIA is using Siemens technology in our Foxconn NVIDIA factory. And so, it's a great partnership.
Jensen, you are one of the most important and biggest employers in Silicon Valley. I've been down to Santa Clara to see you. You are a leader of the technology industry right now. The industry and those of us that live in California are reviewing the billionaire's tax. The question that a lot of people submitted to me to ask you is, how does that impact that talent pool and the industry and Silicon Valley? Is it something that's of concern to you, or it is not?
I got to tell you, I haven't thought about it even once. We work in Silicon Valley because that's where the talent pool is, and we have offices all over the world wherever there's talent. We have offices. We have office in Germany. We have office in all over the world, and so we chose to live in Silicon Valley, and whatever taxes I guess they would like to apply.
I mean, I've been looking at
I'm perfectly fine with it. It didn't
volume
cross my mind once.
footprint.
I appreciate the answer. And again, it's right now in the technology industry, it's what people are reflecting on. We've had
Not really, not this person.
not this person,
This person's trying to build the future of AI.
and that's what the conversation was about today. Roland Busch, Siemens CEO, Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO. Thank you very much for your time. I'll send it back to the team in Washington, D.C.
Ed Ludlow, many thanks, and what a fascinating conversation, one that you'll only hear on Bloomberg TV and radio with Jensen Huang and, of course, the CEO of Siemens, Roland Busch. I'm Joe Matthew in Washington alongside Tyler Kendall with our eyes on NVIDIA shares. Not moving a lot, interestingly, Tyler, despite the incredible amount of news that came out of the Consumer Electronics Show. It's essentially flat, down 10 cents right now, $188. But we are seeing other stocks in the space move. Micron Technology and some of the other storage companies they were talking about, it just seems to be to the moon.
Right. Also, some movement when it comes to energy and cooling, considering that you just heard Jensen Huang there talking about the need for other energy investments in order to fuel just the incredible demand that we see from data centers and AI. And that's why we often hear this need that it needs to go, beyond those typical sources of energy. That's why nuclear comes into the picture a lot.
Nuclear comes into the picture. Everyone's talking about Caterpillar with gas generators, and a lot of players that you might not assume are playing into the AI space. We're going to talk about what we just learned and take a bigger picture view at what came out of CES, specifically when it comes to NVIDIA and AI, when we spend some time with Mike Shepard coming up next here on Balance of Power.
Right, and you already did a quick check there on the NVIDIA stock, but for the rest of the markets, as Charlie Pellet likes to say, we check markets all day here on Bloomberg. So we're going to go to him now for a quick update. Hey, Charlie.
Thank you very much. And here's what's going on. While Jensen was talking, we've got U.S. stocks climbing to a record. The Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ all advancing specifically. The S&P right now, 69.39. The old record, 69.32. The big question, though, will that number stick through the closing bell? Got to keep it locked into Bloomberg Television and Radio. Complete coverage as we wrap up trading today. So right now, 69.39 where we stand. The S&P there at a record up 37, up by about 0.5%. Dow Industrials up 458. That is a gain of 0.9%. The Dow also at a record. NASDAQ right now up 119, up by about 0.5%. Your 10-year at 4.17% with a 2-year 3.47%. We do have spot gold climbing another $37 the ounce, now at $44.86, up 0.8%. A surge in silver closing back in on $81 the ounce, $80.82 right now on silver, up 5.5%, and a retreat for crude. WTI down 1.4%, 57.51 for a barrel of WTI, and Bitcoin pulling back down 2.3%. Bitcoin at 91,891. Well, you heard Jensen Huang live here on Bloomberg Radio. Makers of cooling system stocks are looking at the declines after comments by NVIDIA's CEO raised fears about demand for their products from data centers. Shares of Johnson Controls International, which makes water cooling equipment and similar systems, it right now is tumbling. Johnson Controls down 6.1%. Some of the other names, Modine Manufacturing down 9.1%. CARR, Carrier Global Group, down now by 0.8%, and Train Technologies, TT on the ticker, it is down by
breaking through, lots of volume. It's gonna go. There we go.
Best level of the day,
Q's
a record
up
on the S&P right now, up 38, gain there of 0.5%. Balance of power continues right now, and back we go to Washington once again. Your hosts Tyler Kendall and Joe Matthew.
All right, Charlie, thanks so much. As Charlie mentioned, I'm Tyler Kendall here in Washington alongside Joe Matthew. And as Joe Matthew mentioned, we have brought in our resident expert here to our DC studio to help us unpack that entire interview that you just heard. Michael Shepard, Bloomberg Senior Editor for Technology and Strategic Industry, joins us now. So, Mike, let's do big picture, because the through line has been this assertion that the AI boom is here to stay. How did we hear that case made during CES so far this week?
Well, we've heard it not only from Jensen Huang, but also from Lisa Su, the head of Advanced Micro Devices, the arch rival to NVIDIA, and both are really making the case that the sky is the limit right now for compute demand connected not only to artificial intelligence, but other business data processing needs. And therefore, they see more demand for their chips, and not only for the ways that we were just talking about with AI, the way you and I might think about it in terms of a chatbot or something agentic,
this is
actually
right back
in
up.
industrial applications, like we just heard in the interview with the Siemens CEO alongside Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, where they are making the case that, look, AI will go into industrial processes to the factory floor to make process there, to make the functioning machines there much more efficient and perhaps less demanding on a workforce that is struggling to find people to staff those kinds of factory jobs, not only here in the U.S., but elsewhere in the world. And we also saw Jensen yesterday during his presentation at CES, his nearly 90-minute keynote, he brought robots onto the stage. And he talked about this autonomous driving platform that is taking it a step further by actually introducing thinking and reasoning into the software that would drive a self-driven or autonomous vehicle.
And that goes a long way to speaking to the use cases. You know, how is this going to change my life and make me more productive? But you reached for something important. The fact of the matter is that the enterprise use case might be a bigger story at this stage of the AI rollout. And when he starts talking about Rubin,
those are good.
10 times the efficiency of Blackwell. That would actually increase customers' revenues and lower their costs.
Tesla's
this
good.
This is moving faster than we can keep up with. Will this next generation of chips increase productivity in AI?
Well, that is certainly the case.
Did I say that?
Jensen Huang is making, and actually the same case that Lisa Su made with AMD's own version, its very latest generation
now it's going
of
up.
AI chips as well.
Tesla's
look,
up.
We have a technology here that we can offer
Need NVIDIA to go up.
that increases their productivity, that does processing
right there,
a
it's
lot
touching
faster.
the
You heard
EMA.
Jensen talking about a 10x increase
to go back up
in terms of efficiency.
to 70.
But he's also talking about energy efficiency.
Technically this crossed over, so now it's bearish, but I think this could go up to the 90s. I really think this could go up back up to 200,
this
but
will require
we'll
less in terms of cooling as well. So it's for businesses that are looking for whether this is the time to make the jump to really make this investment to start turning more to artificial intelligence to help power a lot of their internal processes. Vera Rubin, in Jensen Huang's view, is the reason to make that leap.
I actually loved how Ed Ludlow framed that question. He asked him about the anxiety around energy efficiency, and then you heard Jensen Huang in his answer talk about the White House's energy policies. He touted President Trump's, what I believe he called this energy first agenda that we often hear from the administration. Do we know anything about the dialogue between the Trump administration and these tech companies, and the idea that when they are using so much energy, what does that actually mean for American consumers?
Well, one of the most consistent messages that we've been hearing from Jensen Huang and his counterparts in Silicon Valley, especially those that are investing in heavily the artificial intelligence area, is the need.
All right, I am going to go. That was about it. Talk to you guys later.
Across the board, it is something that really came shining through in the president's AI action plan, and it is something that Jensen Huang has brought up with the president.